Roger Federer ended his incredible career after winning 20 Grand Slams, 1,251 victories, 103 titles, and an amazing 310 weeks at the global rankings. With his effortless grace on the court, the 41-year-old Swiss master reshaped the sport, and he will go down in history as one of the best players ever. Keep watching this video as we list the top 10 most iconic moments from his career. First off, at number 10, dominating the Junior Wimbledon Cup in 1998, when Federer defeated Irakli Labadze in the Junior Wimbledon final with an incredible score of 6-4 and 6-4. He was only 17 years old. Both he and the Belgian, Olivier Rochus, also came out on top in the men's doubles section. Looking back at his performance now, it was clear that he was a prodigy at the sport. The BBC commentator for the final game predicted precisely how good he would be when he said that this wouldn't be the last time we see him. And although the young player lost his first game at the All England Club in 1999 and 2000 and couldn't play to his full potential, this quickly changed the next year. Coming in at number 9, Federer shocks Pete Sampras at Wimbledon in 2001. In the summer of 2001, the All England Club's grass courts were the first to see a change in the tennis world dynamics. Roger Federer stunned Pete Sampras by defeating him in the Wimbledon fourth round. At 19, he defeated the much more experienced player in a 5-set marathon in their competitive match. Sampras' 31-match winning streak at Wimbledon was shattered by a so to say amateur who was able to stop him from getting a record-breaking 6th consecutive championship in London. And it is from here that Federer's domination of the classic sport began. Moving on to number 8, his first Grand Slam win. Roger Federer achieved his first Grand Slam at Wimbledon 2 years after that decisive win. Although the young tennis player was in the spotlight in 2001, his career hit a low point in 2002. But instead of being disheartened, he worked hard and proved his worth the next year. He overtook the Australian player Mark Philippoussis in a thrilling final with a 7-6, 6-2, and 7-6 win. Federer struggled at Roland Garros just 1 month prior, but he had little trouble winning the title after losing just 1 set overall and none in the final. This display of style and grace soon became a constant for the Swiss at Wimbledon, a major he would rule in the next years. It was a foreshadowing of what was to come soon after because he solidified his position in the league. Federer went on to win Wimbledon a record 8 times from 12 finals through 2019. Next up, at number 7, getting ranked world number 1 by ATP for 4 years straight. The Association of Tennis Professionals, also known as ATP, ranked Federer as world number 1 in 2004, and he retained that title for the next 3 years. At the Australian Open in February 2004, Federer defeated Marat Safin and became known as the tennis king after winning nearly all the Grand Slam tournaments he'd played in by then. Federer remained at the top for 4 long years and took home 11 of his 20 Grand Slam titles before things started taking a turn for the worst. Coming up at number 6, the nail-biting 2008 Wimbledon final. Many tennis experts often call this Wimbledon final one of the greatest tennis matches in history. Although Rafael Nadal had defeated Roger Federer in the French Open final the previous 2 years, the Swiss player entered the match in 2008 knowing he had a chance to win the championship. This is because Federer had come extremely close to defeating Nadal in Hamburg and Monte Carlo. So on July 6, 2008, 2 of the best players the sport has ever seen put on a show for the ages at the All England Club's center court. In 4 hours and 48 minutes, Nadal defeated Federer in a battle for the ages, winning 6-4, 6-4, 6-7, 6-7, and 9-7. And despite losing in the final after an intensive 5-set match that lasted over 5 hours, Roger Federer gained inspiration from the experience. John McEnroe, a former U.S. champion, spoke to the press about how much he admired Federer's character and said that it was one of the best matches ever in terms of overall quality, excitement and unpredictability. Moving on to number 5, completing his career Grand Slam at the 2009 French Open. Sometimes the stars align even when it seems like all hope is lost. That is exactly what happened to Federer when Nadal lost at Roland Garros for the first time in the 4th round against Robin Soderling. He was back in the game after his loss, but felt pressured because he knew this was his best chance to win the title. In the 4th round, Federer defeated Tommy Haas after falling behind 2-1. He then overcame Juan Martín del Potro in the semifinals after falling behind 2-1. Thankfully, the final was a cakewalk for our champ, and with that win on the court, Philippe Chatrier, he tied Pete Sampras' record of 14 major championships. 2009 was honestly Federer's year. He defeated Andy Roddick at Wimbledon to earn a record 15th Grand Slam championship. This moved him back above Nadal in the ATP rankings and to the top of the list of Grand Slam victories of all time. Up next, at number 4, with insane win against Djokovic. Federer had lost 4 consecutive Grand Slam finals and was in the first slump of his career when the 2011 French Open rolled around. He was going up against Nadal, who had just completed a 3 Grand Slam season in 2010, and Djokovic, who was in amazing form after starting the year brilliantly by winning 41 straight matches. It was safe to say that nobody was expecting much from Federer, but it's times like these that Federer pulls through, and he did just that when he defeated Djokovic in 4 sets, pulling off a major upset. He pulled off an iconic flipped backhand down-the-line passing shot that stunned Djokovic and helped secure the victory in the last set. When the match was over, he showed everyone how much the win meant to him by waving his finger. Although Nadal crushed Federer in the championship match, his match against Djokovic became a fan favorite. Following up on number 3, the comeback title at the 2017 Australian Open. Federer entered the Australian Open in a bad mental state because critics had formally declared that his career was over after he struggled with medical problems and below-average results in the majors, and his biggest rival, Nadal, was going through the same slump. But when the two went head-to-head in Melbourne, they put on a performance like no other. Nadal entered the match with an undefeated record against Federer after realizing that the Swiss player struggles against high balls to the backhand slide. But on this day, Federer's backhand was working overtime. He managed to hit a half volley down the line with terrifying power, which gave him an advantage. And his day got even better after he recovered from a breakdown in the 5th set to win the title. This match largely boosted his morale and was a wake-up call for all the critics who doubted him. Coming in at number 2, becoming the oldest world number 1. At the age of 36 and 10 months, Roger Federer broke his own record to become the oldest player to hold the number 1 position on June 18, 2018, after winning his 98th ATP championship at Stuttgart the day before. It was Federer's second time rising to the spot in 2018. The Swiss first recovered the top shot in February 2018 after his amazing comeback to form in 2017. The last time he dominated the leaderboard was 5 years back in 2012, proving once more he is the GOAT when it comes to tennis. Finally, at number 1, the bitter 2019 Wimbledon final with Djokovic. While it may seem unfair to end the list with this match, we must realize that when Federer reached the final, he was just weeks away from turning 38. There were very few players in history who have done that. The match was again in Federer's hands, and he was doing everything right. He was better than Djokovic in almost all game factors, but he couldn't convert the 2 match points he earned deep in the 5th set. Federer was devastated by the outcome, and so were we, but we must give him credit for maintaining his form despite his age and coming so close to perfection. He went on to win his 100th championship in Dubai that same year and became only the second man in history to win 100 titles. He joined Jimmy Connors in the most exclusive clubs in the world. That's a wrap for this video. What was your favorite moment in Federer's career? Let us know in the comments below. Make sure to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more videos like this. See you at the next one.